Hey everyone, welcome back to Theo Smash Golf. Sorry it's been a while, a little bit of a hiatus here. Been busy at work and dealing with a little bit of shoulder problems, so I haven't been able to post anything in a while. But we're gonna start that again here for you guys. So today what we're gonna talk about is we're gonna talk about how to hit the ball into the wind. We're gonna talk about what do most amateur golfers do, why it's incorrect, and then I'm gonna give you guys the correct way to hit into the wind. So with all that being said, I'm Anthony Fiorenzo. Welcome back to Theo Smash Golf. Here to help you own your swing. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back to Theo Smash Golf. Hopefully everybody's staying safe. This time of the year, I know we still got a lot of issues with the coronavirus. It's been hot out. Hope you guys are getting out to play, and hopefully you're staying safe. So today what we're going to talk about for our first video back is how to hit the ball into the wind. And first, before we do that, I'm going to talk about what most amateur golfers do and why it's incorrect and why they still struggle hitting into the wind. So first things first. What we see most often with amateur golfers when they're trying to hit into the wind is however far they're trying to hit it, the first thing wrong they do is they hit with the club they normally would at that distance. So right now we got a target out there. It's 120 yards away. Normally that would be like a 50 degree wedge for me. So if there's no wind, I would take it back and just kind of hit just a normal shot. Kind of like that. So it might even depending on what the elevation changes and whatnot, I might be making a little bit more of a full swing. Kind of like that. So what we see often with most golfers is whenever there's a little bit of wind into us, so what they do is they get set up to a normal or maybe even a little bit further apart. They take the club back, and what they try to do is they try to swing harder because they think if they swing harder, the ball's going to go further. So they're going to take it back and try and swing kind of like that, where they overswing because they think if they swing harder, the ball's going to go further. But oftentimes what happens is they do that, the ball still ends up short of where they're trying to hit, and they're thinking to themselves, well, what the heck? I swung harder, the ball should have gone further. The problem with that is so what happens is when you get set up to it and you take it to the top of your swing, whenever you tend to swing harder, you have a tendency to come down faster on the ball, and then you come steeper into it, which causes the ball to go further up in the air. And obviously, the further in the air it goes, the more the wind's going to affect it. So they're swinging down super fast from the top. You're kind of creating this chopping motion into the ground. So that's going to add steepness. It's going to add height to it, but also what it's going to do is it's going to add spin to it. So the steeper you come down into the ball, the more spin that creates. So when you get a higher trajectory with more spin, the wind's going to have a tendency to affect it even more. So that's why whenever you see those guys swing as hard as they can, the ball's still ending up short. It's because they're coming steeper into the ball. It's getting higher in the air, and you have more spin on it. All of which are the wind's going to affect it more. You're going to be short every single time. So now what is the proper way you should be playing it into the wind? So first things first. So like I said, 120 yards normally that would be like a normal 50 degree wedge for me. So the first thing I would do is, depending on the wind, is I would club up. So with it being 120 yards, I would either club up to a pitching wedge or possibly a 9-iron if it's really, really windy. So the first thing you guys got to do is take your ego out of it. Take an extra club. It's gonna help to make sure that you get that distance. So let's say it's not real windy today, but let's say we have a 1 club wind. So right now I got a pitching wedge. So the first thing, so I'm gonna get set up to it. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to narrow my stance a little bit. So what this is going to do is it's going to force you to stand a little bit taller. It's going to help you kind of come in a little bit shallow when you're coming down to try and reduce that spin, get a lower ball flight. as I talk about more and more things you should do, you're going to start to see a pattern here of what we want the ball to actually do once we hit it. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to narrow your stance up a little bit. And if you so the next thing is if you've seen any videos in the past where, especially the last one where the iron versus driver talked about the ball being in the middle of your stance. The second thing you want to do after you narrow your stance is place that ball a little bit further back in your stance like you would if you were chipping the ball. So you want to play it more off your back foot, and again that's going to help to kind of keep that ball a little bit lower, and hopefully the wind won't affect it as much. So you want to get set up to it. So your weight distribution, you want either 50-50 or just slightly on your front side. And the reason for this is when you come down swing through, we don't want to be falling back and adding loft to the club. We want to make sure that the club remains de-lofted. We get that lower trajectory again. So back in our stance, weight 50-50 or slightly front, and then we want to have our hands again forward, a little bit more forward like that to help again keep the club de-lofted, and to try and get a little bit lower trajectory. Sorry, it's hot out here. I'm having to constantly wipe my face. So our setup position, feet are more narrow, balls further back in our stance, hands are a little bit more forward, weights either 50-50 or slightly on our front foot. So, and then in terms of aiming, so with the ball being a little bit further back in your stance, the club when you come down is going to have a tendency to be a little bit open. So you tend to, more times than not, you want to be aim a little bit more to the left to try and compensate for it. A little bit left. And then also what you want to do is you want to choke what we call choking down on the club a little bit. So if we grip the club all the way towards the end for a full swing, you want to grip it say about halfway down the grip. Just to help give us a little bit more control. So now we're in our good set position. So with our backswing, so we still want to make sure we rotate back on our swing, but all we want to do is we want to try to shorten it to about a three-quarter swing. So when you're taking it back, instead of trying to get it to parallel, maybe you stop about three quarters like that, and then come down and through. So again, the whole reason for this setup, as well as taking it back, is when you're trying to hit the shot, it's not necessarily always about how far you can get it. It's about trying to control it and try and reduce the chances of the wind affecting you. And I think that's where a lot of people kind of struggle with this, is they think they have to swing. Like I said, they have to swing as hard as they can to try to get the ball to go further. But when you're hitting it into the wind, your goal should be to just try and control the shot and try and leave it in the best place you can. So you don't always necessarily have to swing as hard as you possibly can. You want to stay under control and be a lot more accurate instead of worrying just about the distance. So you want to take it back. So again, you want to take it back about three quarters like that. Then you still want to come down. So you still want to come and hit down on the ball with a descending blow, like I've talked about with the iron swing in the past. So you still want to come down, hit down on the ball, and then finish through. So probably the most important part about your swing when you're trying to hit into the wind is when you finish. Instead of finishing all the way through and high like that, you want to finish about halfway, kind of like that. So if you're ever watching the tour, the PGA Tour, and the announcers are talking about the players hitting a stock shot or a sawed-off shot, what they're talking about is they're coming down and they're kind of finishing with kind of a half finish like that. The reason for that is they're trying to keep the ball low. So in case you haven't figured it out by now, what our goal should be to hit the shot is to hit it low with less spin. So that way we keep it low, the wind won't affect it, and the spin down. So again, the wind won't kind of veer it off to the right, and hopefully won't make it come up too far short. So you put all that together. So again, feet closer together, ball back in your stance a little bit, hands a little bit forward, and then you come back about three-quarter swing, come down, finish with about a half finish, a little sawed off finish like that. So if you do all that, it should look something like this. Yeah, nice low trajectory on that one. Went pretty straight with maybe just a slight little cut. That if you can hit that shot, when you're hitting it into the wind, you're going to be able to get the ball a lot closer and save a lot more strokes. So that's it for today. Again, for our first video back after a long hiatus, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button at the bottom if you haven't done so already. I'm Anthony Fiorenza with Fio Smash Golf, and I'll see you guys next time.